Hello again, beautiful souls. It's your free spirit yogi Moni here. And today we're going to talk about thriving after you connect, and transform. So, as you guys know, my story, moved here to LA, um, started a job that I thought I wanted in corporate, found love, and both were a toxic environment for me. And the story goes that I lost myself. I was only giving myself parts, and I was just filled with negativity and toxicity for like the last year and a half. And all the way up until this point, when I decided to cut off the toxicity and get out of this delusional relationship I was in, all the way up until this point, it just felt like I was just losing. Every decision was just the wrong decision. And all I wanted was to go back to how my life used to be in San Francisco. I just wanted to be that person again. I wanted to just have that ease, that comfort. And I finally decided, like, after a big fight. So I quit the job. That was my first decision because I was like, this is toxic. I'm going back to my yoga dream. We're not doing this. Continued with the relationship. Then I realized the relationship was toxic, and we had gotten into, a few fights, but then a really bad one happened, and I realized what was really happening to me, what I was really experiencing. And it wasn't that it was happening to me, it was that I was allowing this. I was living out of my own balance, right? I had accepted, and I had allowed myself to only choose certain parts to live in from my purpose, while I was allowing the rest of my light to be dimmed. And you can't do that, right? You can't choose, like, okay, I'm going to do this in purpose, and I'm going to go ahead and let that part slide and live, chaotically here. Like, that's what I realized. And I wasn't 100% honest with myself. And I woke up and I just said, enough. I can't continue this, right? I became clear on everything. And the toxicity wasn't just my job or just relationship. It was my decision to stay in those places. So, like, just like I decided to get out of that work toxicity, it was time for me to get out of this relation toxicity. And I decided on both, that I'm not going back. I'm not going back to corporate. I'm not going back to any relationships that disrespect me or dim my light. I'm not going back to anything that doesn't serve me and what I stand for, right? Like, no one's going to come and break my home anymore. No one's going to come in and tear down my castle that I've built. And I finally came back to that when I realized, like, what I was doing to myself. Because, like I said, when you are whole, you are blessed. Everything that you've been working towards is going to come to you. But if you have any kind of block or negativity or something that doesn't align with that, it's going to throw you off. And I knew something was wrong. I couldn't put my finger on it. I was just like, something's not right. Like, why am I coming up short all the time? Why am I not, feeling the same happiness I felt? Why am I not, why am I just off, And once I put it all together and realized that I was letting myself go down a previous past, okay, because everything I was dealing with is what I've dealt with in the past, and I let it go, and I had transformed, and I had did the work, and I helped myself to become a better me. I was back in the bowl, right? Back in the depths of like just unhappiness. And I realized it, and I'm like, "Oh my God, you did so much work to get out of that." And here you are accepting it again. And what do you think? You think it's going to be different this time? No, dum dum, it's not going to be different. It's going to be the same mess, and you're allowing this? No, no, no. So I came back to myself, I came back whole, and I realized that I have to stay on my path. Okay, I realized that 100% has to be what aligns with me. 100% has to be my, I want to say like, not my goals, but what my morals are, my beliefs, my everything that I stand for. Like it has to connect with that, because in every way, my job, my relationships, everything has to connect with what I stand for in this life, because if not, I'm going to be back in the chaos, back losing my blessings, back to struggling and living out of balance. So I discovered like, and also, if you have a dream, like I had a dream, and I wasn't living in a way to make that dream come true. And in the past, I was living in my dream. I was doing everything that my dream was. And I was happy, because I'm like, I'm creating the life that I want. We have the power to do that, to create that, to live our dream. And that's the beautiful thing about this, is that all the control is yours. And I forgot. I forgot. I was so wrapped up in thinking corporate was the way to go, and wrapped up in trying to make this person love me, and wrapped up in the hardships that I was having and not seeing the blessings that I had. I almost wiped myself out. Yeah, I was this close to wiping myself out, and probably just becoming a person that was gonna go back to some really, really dark times. Yeah, and that's not where I want to be. I don't want to be in those dark times again. That was the. It was a rough. That was a rough 10 years, and I can't go back to that. My light has gotten so bright. My purpose is clear as day, and there's no reason for me to go back to that. And that was knocking on my door, and I realized like that's not where we're going. I've discovered purpose, I've discovered love, I've discovered self, I've discovered calm, and I don't need to go back to that. So my message to you is, if you've found purpose in your day-to-day life, if you've found love, if you've found happiness, hold on to that and double down on it 10 times, 20 times more. Follow your heart, and don't just do pieces of it. Become whole and really connect with yourself. understand the transformation that you're going through. Stand strong in that transformation. Stand true to it. And commit to thriving in it. Don't let yourself be swayed. And really understand what it is that you stand for in this world, so that you can connect yourself with all of those same people, so that you're not finding yourself like me, where you're just a thread away from going back to a life that doesn't serve you and just tears you down and leaves you going in circles. So I'm happy to announce that I am whole again. Moving forward, I'm in control of this world that I've built. I'm in control of this life that I want to live. And just have to remember that every day is your decision to live in your purpose, in your alignment, within your boundaries, and that you have the power to be happy. So, okay, my loves, that is my story, and I'm so happy to be able to share it with you. A lot of stuff is coming up for this Free Spirit Yogi, so please stay tuned. We've got a retreat planned for January. There's events coming up throughout the year where I'm going to be vending at, so I'd love to see you at one of them. The Zula Den in October, the Yoga Expo in February. So, yeah, I hope to see you at one of those. And if not, drop me a line, say hello. It'd be wonderful to see you. All right, sending you all my love and well wishes. Namaste.